in Louisiana who have already left, who have just gotten out of the storm's path. You're joining me right now. You have the latest on Hurricane Ida. What's the latest right now?
All right. Well, it's crazy to think that just a couple of hours ago, this storm was only a Category 2. It went through a process called rapid intensification, where winds increased by 35 miles per hour within a 12-hour span. And then it went through eyewall replacement cycle. And that means the storm did further strengthen, as it is just sitting less than 100 miles off to the south there of where it will be potentially making landfall in southeast Louisiana. Now, the storm is very strong. We have the latest advisory out, winds up to 145 miles per hour. So not expected to become a Category 5. If it were to be a 5, that means winds have to be over 157, but it is going to be a very strong Category 4 hurricane making landfall later in the day today. So the area of target includes Houma, Louisiana, right along here, and Grand Isle, which just sits off to the east of it. Eventually, though, when the storm does work its way over land, it will weaken down into a Category 1 hurricane. So that means Category hurricane winds around 75, even 80 miles per hour still likely by the time the storm passes through Baton Rouge. Eventually, though, it will weaken down into a tropical depression, then into a remnant low, bringing a lot of heavy rain along with it back out into the Atlantic. But notice no effects for us here in South Florida at all. Now, biggest threats, of course, storm surge with any landfalling system. We could see anywhere between 10 to 15 foot storm surge. On top of that, you're going to be dealing with the heavy rainfall for this area. So they're going to see maybe even up to a foot of rain, even excess of that near Lake Pontchartrain and even along the Mississippi Valley there. So again, this is going to be a very devastating storm when all is said is done, and this is going to take months, maybe even a year, up to repairment there after the storm is completely out of the picture. But it is going to give a lot of heavy rainfall, storm surge, and of course that damaging winds that are expected, so catastrophic events with the system. A little bit off to the Atlantic now, we have two areas that we're watching, two depressions. Now, neither will affect land at all. Next two names on the list are Julian and Kate. Of course, the peak of hurricane season is September 10th. We have two other areas that we're watching, very low chance of developing, at least for the next 2 days. Now, good morning there to you, South Florida. Very quiet conditions in our neck of the woods. A beautiful sunrise, a few spotty clouds. Temperatures, though, running in the 80s when you factor in humidity, 91 degrees. So don't let those numbers fool you. It's going to feel a lot hotter, especially later in the day today. Temperatures reaching a high near 90 this afternoon. A few isolated showers here and there, but not expecting to see a tremendous amount of rain. A few spotty showers off the coast of southern Palm Beach County. Very light rain there. Not quite working its way onto land, but again, we're going to keep the chance for maybe a stray shower or two this morning. Now, here's a look for Ida making landfall, as I mentioned, later in the day today. So maybe right around 5 o'clock our time, 4 o'clock their time. But of course, it is going to be a very devastating system that we will continue to follow. No effects for us here in South Florida. Temperatures in the 90s. As we hit the later half of the week, we should see a shift in our winds starting Thursday. That's going to help us heat up to right around the mid 90s, and then a good chance for some scattered rain activity heading into next weekend.